My name is Aidan, also known as Turtleboy.
He is a senior editor for Turtleboy Daily News.
I'm a big fan.
We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it Turtleboy that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
You did not say that you were going to take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby.
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do. I know.
People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never going to stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
Yo, what's up, Turtle Riders? How's everyone doing tonight? Good, excellent. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We got a nice little audience here tonight. We're back on YouTube. Nice to see us back here. We're also on Rumble. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug the Rumble stream over there. The good thing about being suspended from YouTube is you gain like 4,000 followers on Rumble. So that's pretty cool. I think we're live on Rumble. I see it over there. Looks like we're doing okay. So yeah, you can subscribe on Rumble. We weren't here obviously the last week. It's going to keep happening, guys. It's going to keep happening with the suspensions. We have no control over it. Like the thing that we got, I don't think anybody missed it. Y'all found us anyway, because you can't like hide the turtle. So, you know, we had like, I think 7,000 like live viewers on Rumble. Like it was insane. I don't know if that's like legit, those numbers. That's freaking crazy. Or if YouTube's just suppressing us, but somehow we got like double our biggest audience ever from YouTube. But anyway, subscribe to the Rumble. It's good not only to have backup, but also because I don't know, I just like to not be on YouTube after a while. I mean, it is a little better. There's certain features that YouTube has, particularly like I can't highlight like comments like this. Like I can't highlight them on Rumble because it doesn't integrate with StreamYard. So they need to get on that. But anyway, so all right. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your fearless host. They call me Uncle Turtleboy around here, but I prefer Doctor. I go by Doctor now, actually, so you can call me Doctor. I'd actually request it. Or you can call me Aidan or Clarence or whatever you want to call me. Just be here Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. is really all I ask. And make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell because you never know when we're going to do an impromptu live. I've already got an idea for an impromptu live. I'm going to look. So at the rolling rally, we didn't go to D&E Pizza, okay? And the reason we didn't go to D&E Pizza was simply because I didn't want to, like, there's no parking. Like, parking is an issue. And, like, the sidewalk is an issue. And it would just seem too complicated. So, what I want to do is I want to go down there unannounced one time with just me and Richie. And I will hold a one-man protest outside. I want to hold my own protest outside of D&E Pizza, just me, for like a couple hours. And you know when that happens, you know people are going to start coming down. So I want to start really putting the pressure on these people because I really hate them. I genuinely hate what they're doing to Karen Reed. I really despise it, right? Especially like when I was, watching last night. I'm just like, man, fuck these people for doing that to her. I really, really hate them for doing that. But so I'm going to be doing that in the near future. So make sure you hit the notification bell so you get alerted when we go live. All right, cool. Anyway, I've also shared this on the socials. Make sure you're following us on Facebook. My personal account is Clarence Woods Emerson. You can also follow the Turtleboy page, which just passed 30,000 followers the other day. So that's pretty cool. We lost a page with 40,000 like a few months ago, I feel like, and we're already back. The Clarence Woods Emerson account has like 38,000 followers or something like that. So follow. Like everything I post on Clarence now gets like crazy interactions. So that's cool. I can't post in the Justice for John and Karen group. I got suspended from posting in groups for a week because I posted a screenshot of a threat that was sent to me. Remember those crazy threats we got yesterday? And like I posted them on Facebook and I got like banned. I can't post in the groups for a week. Oh no, I'm in big trouble with that. But anyway, also on Twitter, I am at Dr. Turtleboy. That's at DOCTOR Turtleboy because of Jill Biden's a doctor. Then I'm definitely a doctor. And I think we're up to 43.1 thousand followers. I was banned from that platform forever, so it's nice to be on there. We're on the Instagram at Turtleboy_daily_news. I don't run that one, but I think it's up to like 20,000 followers or close to that. We're on. I have a TikTok. I don't know what I'm doing on there. I don't do the dancing. I'm just Dr. Turtleboy on there. If you look me up, so you can follow me on there, whatever you want. Okay. So yeah, and then don't message me. Like I see a lot of people messaging me about the group. Like, why did I get kicked out? I don't know. I don't run the group. I don't know. I'm an admin, but I don't really run the group. I don't want to run the group. I have enough responsibilities, quite frankly. But the group is pretty cool, and I would encourage the admins, please just let as many people in there as possible, unless they're like reporting things or putting the group in danger. Because it's a really cool group and we don't want to lose that group. It's a great place for sharing information. Everyone should go join it if they haven't already. But yeah, go ahead and do that. Okay. I forgetting anything else? I think we're good. Okay. All right. So anyway, if you guys like the program and you want to contribute to what we're doing here, you can't donate on YouTube because they took away our ability to monetize 2 years ago because I had the wrong opinions about a certain president's vaccine mandate, and they were the wrong ones. They were the wrong ones. So I wasn't allowed to collect money from people. Like if you wanted to give me your money, they didn't let you do that because they're smarter than you, and they know that like you don't want to give that guy money. That's bad, and it's fine because those crooks took 30-40% anyway. So we just built our own platform. That's what we do around here. So we built something called Turtle Chat. It's linked in the top of the chat. You can click on that. You can donate whatever amount of money you want, and you get to write a message. When you do that, I'll get an email, and I will read your Turtle Chat out loud to the class. You can also Cash App me at $Uncle Turtleboy. We've got some already, I believe. Let me read a few of these out. Let me see. All right. Cash App. I think I got, okay. Wait, are these new? Yeah, okay. So we got Aaron O'Keefe has sent, JB sends $5 and says, for Aaron O'Keefe is a habitual cheater. Hashtag bitch. Okay, off to a good start. Thank you, JB. Brittany sends $20 and says, for hashtag free Karen Reed, you losers. Thank you very much, Brittany. Appreciate that. Dr. Nips sends $5 and says, you think your nips affected the plow's GPS? What is with the nips? I don't get it. And I think we have one more here, or was this from last time? Oh, Deanna sends $20, says, I missed the weekend live. Hashtag keep fighting. And yeah. So there, Wilson sent me one earlier today. $25 says, for keep up the great work, doctor. So yeah, why do you all say that? Why do you all call me losers? Oh, and we got a couple donos over here on the Rumble chats. Big Rosie says Big Mac is running after seeing those guns, Doc. Giovanni says, do you have a license? Oh, stop it, you guys. It's just hot. I have no AC down here. I'm like sweating balls. And Sween Dog sends $1 and says, MB the Lutheran from Raider Nation, keep up the good fight. You like my childhood hero, Jim Plunkett. All right, cool. I appreciate that. Oh, we got one more here on the Cash App from Melissa, sends $10, says, for thanks for your voice, Doc. My pleasure. My pleasure. So if anyone else wants to donate, I don't know if anyone's done a Turtle Chat yet, or if they're just not going through. We've had issues with this before. If you did send one, I haven't received it, but I'm getting the Cash App. So let me know if you're sending those or not. They're not going through, and I can check them a different way. But okay, so we're just going to jump right into the content. Okay. All right, let's do it. So first thing we're going to talk about is Karen Reed's appearance last night on Nightline, which I didn't even know was coming up. But apparently it is. So I knew something was up, right? Because we saw Matt Gutman at the courthouse. I'm like, that's Matt Gutman. That's the guy from TV. That's the guy from the Channel 5 from Kiev. Matt Gutman, like international news reporter for ABC. And I saw him at our protest, and he was like, he seemed really entertained by it. And like he was getting a lot of footage that he clearly used for this segment he did. Now, he must have sat down with Karen Reed either before or after the hearing, and must probably before, I'm guessing, because Alan Jackson was on the video too, and I assume he flies home after this. But anyway, he interviewed her, and we only saw like a 10-minute clip. I'm sure it was much longer, and I'm told that there's a much longer form version of this coming around. This is what they do. They give you these teasers. So yeah. Karen Reed spoke. Now this is unusual, this whole setup. And I said this the other day, right? Like, this is going to be the first, 2020 or Dateline or whatever, where the defendant is the one doing all the talking, and the lead investigator in it just isn't on it at all. Like, you're never going to see that. Like, have you ever seen an episode of Dateline? Like, the main character on most Dateline episodes is whoever the lead investigator is, and somebody from the district attorney's office, usually the ADA that's actually, doing the courtroom, whatever. So in this case, it's going to be different though, because there ain't no way Proctor's going to go on. All the people who are supposed to have nothing to hide are doing nothing but hiding. They're doing the opposite. And the person who has a right to remain silent does not want to remain silent, because she has nothing to hide. Now, I've seen this comment in a few places from Turtle Riders who support Karen Reed, right? And people are saying this is what happened to Scott Peterson. Are you thinking of Drew Peterson? Because Drew Peterson, Scott Peterson's the one from California who killed his pregnant wife. Drew Peterson killed like 2 or 3 of his wives. He was the Chicago police officer who really thought he was like hot shit, but he actually killed them. And he was so cocky and confident and such a narcissist that he thought he could come on there. And he did a lot of TV appearances before he was charged with murder. So anyway, Karen Reed, though, is, the more we hear from her, the more you realize how intelligent and well-spoken this woman is, and how in control she is of just understanding what's going on, I feel like she's probably like an encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to this topic, because, it's her life that's on the line, which is freaking crazy, man. The more we think about, this is all fun and games. Like, this is all entertaining for us, right? But it's really fucked. Like, I feel bad sometimes being entertained by this, because she has so much on the line. And like, yeah, I'm sure at some point she's enjoying the fact that we're all out there supporting her and, free Karen Reed and all that stuff. But at the same time, like, what if things go bad, and I don't even want to think like that, but you never know. Like, there's no way a jury can convict this woman when they hear all the facts. But I hope, like, I had a conversation last night, and Bob Mata, the attorney from Chicago there, who I had a nice chat with, brought up some good points. And one of them was that, what if they don't allow the Google search? Like, that's such a, like, no, any jury hears that and it's game over. But what if they don't hear it? And how to find 12 jurors, right, that don't know anything about this case? It's like they're just starting fresh. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I think one of the bigger things that they're going to have to fight is the fact that the story is so crazy that it's almost too crazy to believe. It's too crazy to believe. So we'll see. Anyway, let's pull up. Let's just pull up the interview and start watching some of it, shall we?
Wish you had help getting things done? Same. So I got Spectrum One.
Get 300 megabit internet for $49.99 a month. plus advanced Wi-Fi.
I'm reading the comments here. Where's the turtle chat? The turtle chat is listed at the top. If you click on that. Actually,
in the time it takes to skip this ad, a pipe burst could turn catastrophic. But with the moments...
But they're really...
Let me make... Somebody has complained about this. Let me make sure the turtle chat is working, because it didn't work the other night on Rumble. And I'm going to donate to myself to make sure this works real quick. Hold on. Stand by. Or is it not working? I click on turtle chat, and I'm just getting a pinwheel. Is anyone else getting that on turtle chat? Weird. Is it not working for you guys? Yeah. Let me know if you guys... Yeah, Mata was a really cool guy. Definitely going to watch more of his content coming up. And let's see. And Dan and Steve were great hosts. I really appreciate it. I thought like that show got rave reviews. Oh my God, ads. Boomer TV without the ad block. I know. So no, it's not working? Okay. So yeah, I'm getting that too. So yeah, Cash App, $ Uncle Turtleboy would probably be easier. I'm sorry if you don't have Cash App. It's wicked easy. I'm going to have to get this turtle chat fixed. I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah. All right. So anyway, let's, man, 1,300 people over on Rumble. That's crazy, man. 2,100 people on YouTube. That's wild. It is working. Okay. I don't know. If you can get it to work, you can get it to work. If not, oh yeah, they're on tonight, right? They're doing the thing. So I'll watch them tomorrow. I'll watch them when this is done, but okay. All right. So let's watch this. Look at that. Look at that.
Outside this courthouse in Canton, Massachusetts, supporters swarmed around Karen Reed, charged with murder in January.
So I love how one of the first things you see is the Turtleboy logo. That's cool. Okay, let me just stop right there. This whole thing that you're seeing on here, if you are somebody who's never seen this case before, and you've immediately seen all these people protesting Free Karen Reed and wearing t-shirts that say that, and like you immediately have your interest piqued by this, don't you? You're like, well, this is odd. This isn't normal. I've never seen a criminal defendant in a murder trial have this sort of support before. And that should kind of be like a red flag that, something bigger is going on here. Like what is going on here? Like maybe there is more. And it was like, and we did that. You by being there and having this whole protest there and all these people there, new people who look at this case now are going to look at this. And that's the first thing they're going to see. And it's immediately going to pique their interest. All we have to do is catch their attention. That's it. Once you catch their attention and they start reading up on it themselves, it's game over. Like as soon as you read the facts of this case, you're on our side. That's all it takes. That's literally it. Unless you're intentionally dishonest, like the woman we're going to talk about in a little bit.
2022 death of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, Reed has strenuously denied the allegations.
I did not kill John O'Keefe. I've never harmed a hair on John O'Keefe's head.
Her defense...
All right. So first of all, great start. I didn't kill John O'Keefe. I have never harmed a hair on his head. And because that was one of the criticisms of the last time she talked, right? Is, oh, she didn't immediately say I didn't do it. She moved right on to we know who did it. Oh, that must mean she's guilty. She's so guilty. And so this time she just came out swinging. Like, I did not kill John O'Keefe. It's fucking mosquito. I'm going to kill it. I did not kill John O'Keefe. I did not harm a hair on his head. Was the exact language.
Bare-knuckled and bold is making national headlines. Her lawyers alleging in court documents that a fellow police officer
I'm on TV.
involved in O'Keefe's death and colluded with other people in a cover-up.
You're alleging that law enforcement officials in the state committed murder and that they're covering it up. Why would they want to be involved in this?
Because he's dead. I think things went too far. It was late. There was alcohol involved.
Wait, I got to listen to that question again and that answer. What was that?
You're alleging that law enforcement officials in the state committed murder and that they're covering it up. Why would they want to be involved in this?
Because he's dead. I think.
Why would they cut that? That answer doesn't make any sense. Like, what did she say before that? See, this is why I don't like the cuts. Why would they ask? Why would the law enforcement what was it? One more time. What was the exact question there?
Why would they want to be involved in this?
Why would they want to be involved in this?
Because he's dead.
Because he's dead. I think, why would they want to be involved in this? Because I don't even get, see, this is what I don't like the cuts for. Why would who want to be involved in this? Brian Albert? Well, because he doesn't want to go to jail. Because he doesn't want to go to jail. They didn't like choose to be like, they killed him. Like Bob said last night, it's not really a conspiracy. It's just a cover up. It's a good old fashioned cover up. That's what this is. A conspiracy means that they planned to kill him. This is not a conspiracy. They planned a cover up afterwards, but it wasn't the most complicated cover up. It was simply, if anybody asks you anything, say he never came in the house. That's it. That's the whole thing. All right, play some more.
I think things went too far. It was late. There was alcohol involved, but they're all family. And there's many of them involved.
After posting bail, Reed has spent much of the past 18 months in and out of court, awaiting a trial date.
And me and my family and my attorneys and my team have marshaled every resource to get to the truth. It just feels like no one else wants it.
Prosecutors allege that Reed hit O'Keefe with her car after getting into an argument earlier in the day, leaving him to die in the middle of a snowstorm in January 2022. But Reed says she had no reason to harm her boyfriend.
I would call him the patron saint of Canton.
This is good. He's
just very selfless, frugal, and I think you'd be hard pressed to find anyone that didn't care for John.
The couple.
So let me just say this. Okay, so first thing, I like what she wore. Not to be like that, but I think like her outfit, it was a good choice. You didn't want to wear the pantsuit with this because you look like too much of, like, you don't want to have the business bitch look. Like, she had a very conservative, likable looking outfit here, right? It was smart. I don't know if this was planned, but she comes across as more likable because of that. And the first thing she says about John, she doesn't even make this about her. She makes this about John. Selfless, frugal.
I think you'd be hard pressed to find anyone that didn't care for John.
The couple.
Selfless, frugal, and hard pressed to find anyone who didn't care for John unless their name was Colin Albert. So, play some more.
First dated in their 20s and reconnected more than a decade later in the middle of the pandemic.
So how did you meet up again?
He had reached out to me on Facebook and he said, "Hey, blast from the past, how's things?" And when I saw his picture, his profile picture was with several young children. And then it triggered my memory that his sister and his sister's husband had passed away. And he told me, yeah, I have the kids now. I admired that. I thought that was amazing.
Soon, Reed says she became part of the family, often sleeping over at O'Keefe's house.
Let me stop right there. Again, great job. When I was first watching this, I'm like, yes, nailed it. Because she's making this all about John, right? And she's saying great things about John. It's not about her. It's about, like, he was a great guy, you know. And this is the difference between Cameron Reed and all these other phonies. The other phonies, the first thing they point about John is he's a Boston police officer. Look at me, I got my freaking tattoo with the butterfly wings and, you know, back to blue and thin blue line. And like, that was his identity to them. Whereas she looks at this and the first thing she remembers about John and was attracted to about him was the fact that he was an adopted father to his niece and nephew after a horrible tragedy happened. You know, this not only humanizes her, it humanizes him. So I think this is really good stuff so far.
House and helping take care of the kids.
He would go to work and I would stay with his niece and nephew. All of the breaks that the kids had, we did something.
But their relationship also had its struggles. Reeves says O'Keefe had been relying more on her to take care of the kids and that he criticized some of the decisions she made with them.
We had an argument on New Year's Eve. We were on
Here we go.
vacation and he became incoherently drunk. And I ended up ringing in the new year with his niece and nephew. John didn't come back to our room till after 3 a.m. So that was rough. I felt very much taken advantage of. He apologized.
So this is one thing. I as soon as I heard this, I'm like, oh, not that they matter, but the assholes of the world are gonna have a field day with this one. They're gonna be like, oh, see, she's shitting on John. She's shitting on John. It's like, no, she's like, to me, this humanizes both of them. Like, they were a regular couple that fought, and you know, like a lot of people can envision themselves in this scenario, right? A lot of the times in relationships, like the guy might get a little sloppy drunk, and then the girl is the responsible one. Not every time, but often. Like, a lot of people can relate to that. The boyfriend who drank too much, and the girlfriend who's just kind of like shaking her head and being like, oh, this again. And it's human, right? It's real, because eventually, and she has to do this. Why does she have to do this? Well, because when trial comes around, and this, to me, this whole thing she's doing right here indicates to me that they are planning for a trial. That I think it might come. I said over a year. I don't think it's gonna be over a year. Like, this to me sounds like they are preparing for it. Like, they know what the prosecution is going to say, and they are bracing themselves for it. And I think what the prosecution is going to try to paint is a picture of her as in this toxic relationship. So she can't deny that they've gotten in fights before, right? Because they're human. I mean, who hasn't gotten in a fight with their boyfriend or whatever? And I'm sure there were some messages. Like, I mean, how many of you guys right now, like, if the cops, if something happened to your significant other and you had nothing to do with it, and the cops looked through all your text messages with your significant other, they'd go right past I love you, right? They go right past that one, and they'd look for the fight. They would just look for something. And every couple in America has to have something like that, right? They have to have some, you know, something in there where just one was pissed off at the other. And I feel like more often than not, it's going to be the chick mad at the dude. Because as men, we do stupid shit a lot of the time. Not to generalize the genders here, but I think more often than not, men do stupid shit. And it's the women who are the more responsible ones, kind of like shaking their heads like, when are you ever going to grow up? You know, I think a lot of men can relate to that, and probably a lot of women can relate to that. And so that's what they're going to try to paint this as. And so I didn't know about this Aruba thing. Apparently they were in Aruba on New Year's, which is 4 weeks before he dies. And he goes out and gets plastered. I mean, come on. He's a Boston cop and his last name's O'Keefe. I could have told you John O'Keefe liked to drink, and it's not a big deal. It doesn't mean he's a bad person. So if they're trying to say that, oh, she's talking shit about him, it's like, what cop named O'Keefe doesn't get plastered once in a while, especially on New Year's Eve? Especially when you know that you got a woman that, like, if John was just him and the kids, he couldn't do that, right? But he's got a woman now, so he can afford, right, to go a little sloppy, because Karen will take care of it. And that's not, screw all these people who I'm sure are saying and are going to say, like, she's bad mouthing him and blah, blah, blah. No, she's humanizing him. That's what she's doing. And she's humanizing herself. She is painting a picture here of a very relatable relationship that most people can, you know, imagine themselves in.
Apologized profusely for what happened on New Year's Eve. And he said, if you can't get over it, then you need to spend some time at yours. I can't keep apologizing. I don't want to keep rehashing this.
A few weeks later, they were invited to meet up with some friends at the Waterfall Bar in Canton. And there they ran into Brian Albert, a fellow Boston
listen to the music
police officer who Reed says O'Keefe looked up to.
So stop right there. And for all, you know, I've seen some people say that they weren't a fan of this. It's like, but just imagine yourself not knowing what's going on here. All of a sudden they show Brian Albert, and every picture they show of Brian Albert, he looks angry. And just listen to the music. Listen to the music. This is important as far as like painting a picture.
If you can't get over it, then you need to spend some time of yours. I can't keep apologizing. I don't want to keep rehashing this.
Oh, so if I can't, so you hear what she said there, by the way? If you can't, you need to, like, it sounds like there's some sort of text message that's going to suggest that, like, you should move out, or, you know, maybe we should break up, kind of thing. Like, I guarantee that's what she's prepping them for. Again, means nothing. If this is the best they can come up with, they're going to have nothing. They're also going to have the kids too. And that's going to suck, because those kids had their minds poisoned by Jen McCabe and John's mother, right? Who never liked Karen to begin with, and probably said horrible things about Karen this entire time. And I'm sure they had a lovely relationship, her and the kids. I've seen all the pictures, right, of her with them, and they seemed like they liked her, and she seemed like she was a big part of their life until this happened, and these animals blamed her for it. And so now the kids are going to, like, they think she did this. So I'm sure they're going to take the stand against her. They're going to talk about these fights or whatever. And I hope that the person who cross-examines the kids is Eliza Little. Like, that Alan Jackson should sit that one out. He's obviously really good at what he does, but you need, like, and Eliza Little is really soft-spoken too. You need a woman's touch with that one, I think, with the kids, because you don't want to be seen as, like, aggressive towards them. Like, it's a really delicate situation with the kids, because you don't want to treat them like Jen McCabe, because they're not like that. They're different. They're in a completely different situation here. They're victims of this whole thing too. They've been manipulated. So it's a tricky situation. But again, listen to the way the music changes here. Oh, you're right. And that is horrible, right? That the state is going to do that. Like, that's horrible. That you're this desperate to frame this woman that you're going to make these kids come out here and take the stand. Like, shame on you. These people have no shame. Again, listen to the music though.
A few weeks later, they were invited to meet up with some friends at the Waterfall Bar in Canton. And there they ran into Brian Albert, a fellow Boston police officer who Reed says O'Keefe looked up to. Albert had led the city's gang unit before commanding the Fugitive Apprehension Team. It was the elite squad responsible for taking down some of the city's most dangerous criminals, and featured in the 2013 TNT show, Boston's Finest.
1 minute we're walking around, everything's fine, and then 1 minute it's not fine.
No, his voice is not what I imagined. It's he has a really high-pitched voice, a much higher pitched voice than I imagined. 1 minute you're walking around, good. What do you say? 1 minute you're walking around good, and the next minute you're not fine. You're not fine.
2013 TNT show, Boston's Finest.
1 minute we're walking around, everything's fine, and then 1 minute it's not fine.
Both times I met Brian Albert, he seemed like the type of person that you'd be surprised he's out socially, because he doesn't seem like he ever wants to be there.
But at the bar, Reed says there was an invitation to continue hanging out at Albert's home.
I said, can we make sure we're welcome here? Nobody extended the invite to me. I didn't hear the invite extended to you.
They drive.
Oh, so this is new. So this is interesting. So this is like, she doesn't know Brian Albert really at all. But John looks up to him because, you know, Brian's well known in the Boston Police Department. And so she's like, you know, they don't really know that's interesting that she wasn't like, they weren't explicitly invited afterwards. And so she's just like, are we really going there? You know, it's kind of weird. I mean, I'd be weirded out by it too. Like, imagine that, like you barely know these people. And then you're like, let's go to this after party because it's his son's birthday, like Brian Albert Jr.'s birthday, who, by the way, somehow has remained out of this whole story completely. He was in the house the entire time. Nobody like debates that. Like, he left, or he didn't leave at all. And he didn't come outside either. Like, what's he going to say on the stand? I don't know, but let's play some more.
To the Alberts' house. What happens next is disputed.
So I pull at the foot of the driveway. It's snowing. John has no coat on. It's windy. So I drop him off. He goes up the driveway and approaches the side door. And as I see him approach the door, I look down at my phone.
Reed says after about 10 minutes of waiting in her car, she became irritated that O'Keefe still hadn't gotten in touch with her. And she drove back to his home where she continued calling him before, she says, she fell asleep around 1:30 in the morning.
So stop right there. I feel like a lot of people can relate to this too, right? Especially like a lot of, I think women are the less, like if it's a sketchy situation in there and you want to see what the scene is like, I can totally imagine a situation like that. And I'm sure a lot of women could probably relate to this, right? Like you might tell your husband or your boyfriend, go in there and check it out and let me know if it's cool. And then that's the first time we've heard that she suggested that she might come inside if he texted her back. And of course he didn't. And so she left. And a lot of people have wondered, how would he get home? Well, first of all, he lives about 2 miles from there. There's a million and one ways he can get home. And I'm sure if he called her, she would just come back. But she sat there for 10 minutes and she was annoyed. So she left. And it all makes sense now. Like when you think about it, the Rubeth part, when she told that in context was important now, because it's going to explain, like when she leaves voicemails later on saying like, I fucking hate you for doing this. Like she's doing that because she's like sick. Like she thinks he's alive. And like, you got drunk again and you stayed out. You know what I mean? Like, so if she actually killed him, the last thing she would do is leave an extremely incriminating voicemail like that. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
She then says she woke up before 5 a.m. He still wasn't home. She then started canvassing the neighborhood.
Just going to drive around in the 2 square miles that we spent the preceding night.
After 20 minutes of unsuccessful searching, she called John's friend, Carrie Roberts, and Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert's sister-in-law, who was also at his house the night before. The 3 women together now headed to Albert's home.
How soon was it when you pulled in there that you saw John's body?
Immediately. And what struck me when I saw him was his mouth was open a little bit and his eyes were shut and he had spots of blood in different areas on his face.
O'Keefe was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. He died from blunt force trauma.
By the way, I love how they showed this picture here. They show his, like, of all the things they could show, they show his hand. Like that hand right there, that is a hand that punched something. How do you get bruises like that on your hand? Like, explain that to me. That's not a bite. Like, are they saying that the car rolled over his hand? Is that what they're saying? That it got run over by the car? Why does the hand look like that? And so don't tell me that there's no defensive wounds, because look at that goddamn hand.
And hypothermia. And it wasn't long before Reed became the #1 suspect. Authorities say they had noticed a cracked taillight after they seized her car.
I had told both Jen and Carrie that I cracked my taillight. I said, I just hit my car on top of everything, but I didn't look at the damage. And both women said, it's cracked. It's cracked. Calm down. You cracked your taillight.
It's cracked. Calm down. You cracked your taillight. Okay. And John McCabe must have been thinking like, oh, lucky me. Like the actually change of plans here. Change of plans. So that's interesting. When she tells them when she meets up with them that not shattered, the taillight's not shattered until Michael Proctor finds it. It was only cracked. You cracked your taillight. And some people have pointed out that like her father said something that doesn't align with this, but that's what her dad said. You know, they're different. Like this is the first time we're hearing her tell the story.
You're okay. Let's go look for John.
But according to police statements, Jennifer McCabe told authorities that while they were looking for O'Keefe, Reed stated, could I have hit him? Did I hit him? And when O'Keefe's body was discovered, first responders who arrived on the scene say they overheard Reed make other statements.
Now this is good.
Firefighter said that you said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
I said, I hit him. It was preceded by a did and proceeded by a question mark. What I thought
That was great. It was preceded by a did and proceeded by a question mark. That is emphatic right there. The way she definitively says, no. I hit him was part of a sentence. Did I hit him? Did I hit him? It is entirely possible that Katie McLaughlin just misquote. I mean, can you remember the exact words used? Like, yeah, she did say I hit him. She said, did I hit him? Did I hit him? Why would she be running around yelling, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him? And if they actually believed this, that this was some sort of confession, she would not have been able to leave the scene. She would have been taken to the station for questioning at the very least, if not arrested on the spot. Certainly they would not let her drive away and go get the murder weapon and bring it to Dighton. I'll be very interested to hear what Katie McLaughlin is like on cross-examination, or if there were any other first responders, and of course there were, she wasn't there by herself, and what they heard. Why is she the only person that was questioned? And by the way, just a refresher here, Katie McLaughlin, good friends with Colin Albert, the second oldest child of the Brian Albert family, who was inside the house that night and claims that she left at 12:15, even though she closed down the Waterfall bar. So why would she go back to 34 Fairview Road only to leave immediately? It makes no sense. No sense. Let's play some.
could have happened was that did I incapacitate him unwittingly somehow, and then in his drunkenness passed out?
When you walked out of the bar, how many drinks had you had?
So she, you know, point. Oh, sorry about the still face there, Karen. But what did she again? What was that question? One more time. I thought this was interesting. Sorry, I'm analyzing everything she said.
Somehow, and then in his drunkenness passed out.
When you walked out,
So she explains why she said, "Did I hit him?" Because she's like thinking to herself, like, you know, did he just pass out drunken, like he was shit faced, and you know, did he just stumble and fall down and pass out? Like she didn't know. She was so confused because why would anyone assume that he got the shit kicked out of him in the house? Like who could ever in the moment really understand how much evil just happened inside that house? Like how could anyone contemplate that? Like, okay, Brian Albert, you know, he might seem like a dick, you might seem standoffish, but like killing him, he's gonna kill him. Come on. And I do wonder, when was the moment that Karen Reed, like how long do you guys think it took before Karen Reed, it clicked in her head that something happened in that house, right? Like when do you think she had that aha moment where she no longer thought to herself, did I do this? And realized like, oh shit, this had to have happened inside the house. Like, cause that moment must have happened sometime. I think it's when Steve Scanlon came. I think it's when Steve Scanlon came to David Yannetti on, I think February 2nd or February 3rd and said to David Yannetti, right, that there was an incident in the house and that the nephew, he didn't even know. When I spoke with Scanlon too, with Steve Scanlon, and he just kept calling Colin the nephew, he said. And he said that he had heard, he didn't tell me who told him, but Steve Scanlon also has a daughter who is the age of like Caitlin Albert and them. They don't live in Canton, but they live very close by. So I don't know how he found this stuff out, but he went out of his way to tell David Yannetti very early on that he had been told, he was not in the house, but he had been told that John O'Keefe was beaten inside that house. And that was probably the aha moment for Karen. Like it just, any suspicions she had was just immediately confirmed by that. Because why would this guy who knows Brian Albert come forward and share this information. And I hate to break it to you guys, but like, if he went to David Yannetti with this information, you don't think David Yannetti, now that we 100% know the FBI is involved and that they're questioning people, there is a 0.0% chance the FBI has not spoken to Steve Scanlon. 0.0% chance. They'd have to speak to him. And they can get his phone and they can find out who he was talking to. I don't think Steve Scanlon was involved in this at all. So let me be very clear about that. I don't think he knows with absolute certainty what happened. I think he just wanted to become involved, like a lot of people have wanted to do with this case, but he didn't want to go that far. He wanted to become involved, but kind of like behind the scenes. And because that's what he told me. He's like, oh, I can't come on your show. I can't, because I wanted him to come on here and talk. I can't do that. I can't do that. I mean, so who knows what his reasons are for doing that. But so people like, who is Scanlon? So Steve Scanlon is a guy who he's been in a bunch of pictures with Brian Albert. Let me see if I can find a picture of them. Brian Albert, Steve Scanlon. I think we're Facebook friends. So let me check my Facebook. There's one picture where he's like pointing up. Like if you go on his Facebook is like wide open. And there's pictures of, oh, here it is. This is the one. I mean, it's hearsay, Brian. I see Brian Fitzgerald say it's just hearsay from Scanlon, but it is at first, but it's turned out to be, it's led them on the right track. So this is Steve Scanlon on the right there, and that's Brian Albert. And just every picture at Albert, he just looks possessed, doesn't he? Like evil, this dude. Now, so Steve obviously knows him, but he's also kind of snitching on him, isn't he? Like he's going to David Yannetti, and maybe he just felt bad for John O'Keefe and Karen Reed, and he wanted to do the right thing, but he didn't want to go too far. He didn't want to go too far because maybe he's scared of Brian Albert. Who knows? But because he came forward, that made David Yannetti and Karen Reed realize we're handling this case differently moving forward. And every filing that they've had since then has revolved around figuring out what happened inside that house. And yeah, it was hearsay when he initially said it, but everything they've done since then, like has confirmed it. Everything he said turned out to be true. First of all, his story is more plausible because I'm sure Karen's like, this doesn't make any sense. And then Steve Scanlon comes forward. It's like, that actually makes sense. And so this guy went out of his way to be kind of like the whistleblower here. And so that got the ball rolling on this. And if you look at the motions, every motion they've made since then is because of the tip that Steve Scanlon gave them. And that includes, like, one of the first things they wanted to do was get the geofence data. They applied to get, they asked Proctor to preserve all the geofence data that shows exactly who was in the house at that time. It never got done. He never sent it over. He just didn't do it. So we never found out who was in that house, because I bet you it was more than just the people that were there. Who was Colin Albert with? Like, that's my question. Who was he there with? Because he was there. So who is he there with? He's, I think he was 17, pretty close to 18 at the time. And he's at this party, and Brian Albert Jr. is like 26. So they're almost a decade apart. And, he's Julie Nagel and Sarah Levinson, same age. and Colin Albert, 24, 25, whatever. And then there's Colin, and he's 17. So who's Colin there with? Like, who did he come with? How did he get home? Was it Chris? Was it Julie? Because I think Chris knew everything. I think Chris is vastly underrated in this whole thing about his involvement in it. I think it's much bigger than we realize. I think that he was actively involved in covering this up from the beginning. I think he was the relation to Michael Proctor. I think he's the connection to Michael Proctor that made that happen, because again, the Proctors considered Chris Albert's family a second family, according to Michael Proctor's own mother on Facebook. So, okay, let's play some more. So that's Steve Scanlon.
Out of the bar, how many drinks had you had?
I had probably about 4.
The Commonwealth says that you had 9 drinks that night. That's what the prosecution says.
I don't believe they're saying I wasn't in my right mind.
They were saying you were intoxicated.
So this is a cut that I don't like right there. First of all, it doesn't matter how drunk Karen Reed was. Instead of wasting time with this clip, I'm sure during this interview, they went over all the autopsy photos and the Lexus and all that stuff. And it's not Matt Gutman's fault. He's not the producer. He didn't decide what got clipped. I'm sure that part got cut out. And they focus on the drinks, which is just so stupid. I don't care how drunk Karen Reed was. It doesn't explain the autopsy photos. Nothing can explain that. It doesn't explain Jen McCabe's Google search. I don't give a shit how drunk Karen Reed was. It's stupid. And so she goes, I had 4, which makes sense. You're going to, like, a woman her size is going to get really buzzed. Like, that's legally drunk for sure. She weighs what, like 110 pounds, something like that on a good day. And she probably got a good, real strong buzz. And she did it within a couple hours. And they weren't beers. They were alcohol drinks. So you're going to get drunk. She's going to probably drunk. Shouldn't have been driving. Guilty as charged. Right. But they were all drunk. How'd Jen McCabe and Matt McCabe get home? Uber? How'd Brian Albert get home? He was drinking all day. Nobody seems to care about that. But Karen Reed drinking and driving, oh no, that's a card. Who cares? Who cares? So she says she has 4, and the Commonwealth says they have 9, which is just freaking absurd. Do you know 9 vodka drinks in 2 hours? Are you insane? You expect us to believe that? I couldn't do that when I was pledging a fraternity. Like, you're going to get your stomach pumped if you have 9 vodka drinks in 2 hours. Stop it. And now listen to the cut here. Like, listen to the way this is cut.
Is it possible execution?
4.
The Commonwealth says that you had 9 drinks that night. That's what the prosecution says.
I don't believe they're saying I wasn't in my right mind.
So she doesn't even get a chance. They cut the part off where she's like, no, I didn't. I didn't have 9 drinks. That's absurd. So they see what I mean by the cuts? I'm sure she said, no, I didn't have 9. And they just cut that part off. And so now she talks about the Commonwealth is saying I wasn't in my right mind.
That's what the prosecution says.
I don't believe they're saying I wasn't in my right mind.
They were saying you were intoxicated. Is it possible that you might have hit him unwittingly in your admittedly very large SUV?
No, not
good.
possible.
Good answer.
3 days after.
See, that's a great answer. I love the no. It's not possible. Not like maybe, like anything like that. Perfect answer. No, it's not possible. But then they cut it off. Like, why isn't it possible? Tell us why it's not possible. And that's a great point, Courtney Anderson. My favorite watering hole in Worcester was this place called the Blarney Stone. I love the Blarney Stone. You go down there, you meet some nice Blarney Sevens back in the day. It's a great time. Okay. Play some Buck Hunter, free popcorn, $4 mixed drinks, greatest bar. And it doesn't exist anymore because some Worcester State jackass decided to get, have one too many Long Island iced teas and drove home and killed someone. And the Blarney Stone has to get shut down over that. So, like, if we're talking, and I don't want the waterfall to get shut down, but if they truly believe this, if they truly, believe that, over intoxication is the reason that John O'Keefe is dead, then why are they not going after the Waterfall Bar and Grill or CF McCarthy's, who allegedly served this woman 9 drinks in 2 hours? Absurd. And I'm sure she also has like a bar tab that shows what she bought, right? How would they know 9? Like there's so much we haven't seen yet. Absurd.
O'Keefe was found dead. Investigators arrested Reed for manslaughter. She was eventually indicted on second-degree murder. Investigators reported they found fragments of broken glass on the rear bumper on Reed's vehicle, and that a broken cocktail glass was found by what appeared to be patches of blood near O'Keefe's body.
So they found patches. What did they say? Patch. Again, here's the totality.
Investigators arrested Reed for manslaughter. She was eventually indicted on second-degree murder. Investigators reported they found fragments of broken glass on the rear bumper.
Oh, God. Fragments of broken glass on the rear bumper. But then they don't explore, like, how the hell, and they don't tell the audience that, like, oh, yeah, and those fragments of broken glass, Karen Reed drove from Canton to Dighton, which is 40 minutes south of there, in the middle of a blizzard, and then had her car towed back to Canton. So that's almost 100 miles round trip in a blizzard. And those fragments of broken glass remained on the bumper. And that's all that, like, if you're an average person watching this, that's just what you see. You don't hear the ridiculousness of how that is because you don't know the details because they didn't tell you them. You got to go look it up yourself. Broken glass. Oh, yeah. And that's the other thing. Broken glass, it would be plastic, wouldn't it? So what? The cocktail glass was on the bumper? What? Like, this is insane. Oh, it's insane. But you know what scares me about this is that just like their arrogance and their determination to push forward makes me wonder, like, what fucking bullshit are they going to come up with next? Because whatever it is bullshit. I'll tell you that much. Karen Reed didn't do this. Karen Reed didn't, even if she confessed to doing it, I wouldn't believe her. Karen Reed did not do this. So I will just assume that anything they come forward with, whatever shenanigans they have, I'm assuming is some Michael Proctor bullshit moving forward. And I think that's safe to say. They have not earned our trust.
On Reed's vehicle, and that a broken cocktail glass was found by what appeared to be patches of blood near O'Keefe's body.
A broken cocktail glass.
Mr. O'Keefe is last observed
I like
in
this
surveillance video with a cocktail glass in his right hand. Same arm that's injured, the same type of glass that is then recovered from the bumper of the defendant's car.
In court.
Oh, like that is, I like how they played that clip. So Lally doesn't even have a theory, but he's kind of like hinting at one ear. It's like, well, he was coming out, he was holding it in his right hand on video, and then it was the same kind that was found in the bumper of the car, so it must be that video. Well, how the fuck did it get on the bumper, asshole? So he's holding the glass when she ran him over, and then he's like, yo, let me smash this glass on the bumper real quick. Like, how did that happen? Riddle me that. Oh, it's just so aggravating.
Court documents, the prosecution also claims that Reed's blood alcohol level could have been between 0.13 and 0.29%, above the legal limit of 0.08. In addition, they say pieces of Reed's tail light.
And by the way, 0.13 to 0.29 is a huge freaking range. 0.13. A lot of you guys right now are 0.13. Like that's not double the legal limit. Like 0.13 is like 4 beers. Like you're not like, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, you're going to feel, you're probably feeling nice at 0.13, right? 0.29 is stomach pump. Catatonic. That is such a huge range. And they opined that it would have been in there. They don't know. Insane. I'm over that right now, doctor. Somebody says. I know a lot of you guys are. Yeah, 0.08 is drunk to drive, but it ain't drunk. Like if you, anybody got, test yourself out. Have 3 beers. I mean, do you get drunk off of 3 beers? I don't have, but if I have 3 beers, I'll feel good. But I'm over, I guarantee if I have 3 beers, I'm over 0.08. Guaranteed. Especially if I didn't eat a lot. Easily over 0.08. So like 0.13 is not that much over. You shouldn't be driving. And like they set it at 0.08 for a reason. But if you get pulled over and you're like 0.08, 0.09, like a good DUI lawyer, you're going to get off that. 0.13, you shouldn't be driving for sure. But it's not like sloppy drunk, you know? It's not Mai Tais at the Dragon 88 drunk. It's, you know, maybe you should let someone else drive kind of thing. But a lot of you have driven with 0.13. 0.29, no, don't do, no. You're going to kill someone if you're 0.29. Definitely, and you're not going to remember a friggin' thing. But give me a break.
Were found on the scene the day O'Keefe's body was discovered. More fragments of that taillight were found the following week, according to Canton police reports, after the snow melted, which revealed more at the scene.
Listen to that
But
bullshit.
Reed's attorney, Alan Jackson, has...
See, I didn't like that. I didn't like how they threw that in there. How more taillight was found after the snow melted. They make it seem like they're almost giving the Canton police an out. Remember, the Canton police find no taillight. That is one of the most important pieces of evidence here, is the fact that the Canton police find no taillight at the scene, and then the state police find it later on. So there's a disconnect there, and that needs to be figured out. Like, to me, the fact that is one of the biggest smoking guns in this whole thing. And by that little statement right there about like after the snow melted, they found more. It's like, no, Ken Berkowitz found more a week later for sure. That was shady. But the CERT team found snow not after it melted, but after it they found taillight after the snow accumulated. They found snow 12 hours later at 5:45 after a foot of snow had fallen. See, that's why it's like ABC. Nice face, Alan. Oh man, I'm just pausing. These are the wrong parts, but like in the shoe, yeah, they don't mention the shoe or the hat. People are asking me about the hat. They didn't even have the hat. It wasn't even on his head. So they don't even like, this is one of the most critical pieces. And as soon as you hear about that, you're like, oh, well, this is a cover up, and they don't say it. And so what you have on here is a woman fighting for her life, alleging a conspiracy, and her lawyer doing the same. And a lot of people probably look at this and they're like, yeah, she's desperate. You know, she doesn't want to go to jail. So she's saying crazy shit. Like, that's how it might seem. And so shame on ABC for cutting that part out, because that was really important.
Different theory about how those fragments of taillight got there.
Those pieces of taillight were placed there after the fact.
You're saying evidence was planted.
The pieces of taillight were planted after the fact.
What does the defense believe actually happened to John after Karen dropped him off?
I think he walked into the house. I think he was confronted, was likely brought down to the basement. I think that confrontation got physical, and he was beaten. He was beaten to a point of unconsciousness.
Jackson argues that the autopsy photos...
So stop right there. Now, I was thinking about this too, and I'm like, he doesn't even have to say that. It's not Alan Jackson's job to come up with the theory. I don't know what happened in the house. None of us know what happened. The only people that know what happened in the house are the people inside the house. And it's not our job to figure out what happened inside the house. It's not Alan Jackson's job to figure out what happened inside that house. It's Michael Proctor's job to figure out what happened inside the house. And he didn't even search the house. It's Alan Jackson's job to prove that he went in the house. That's it. That's it. Once he went in the door, we don't need the theories. You know, it's nice to have them. I have my theories, and we all have fun, you know, opining and true crime stuff. People love to opine and figure out their own theories and discuss them, but it's not even necessary. He went in the house. Karen Reed saw him go in the house. The cell phone data shows him in the house. He was in the house. So he came out of the house dead. So you tell me what happened in the house. You tell me what happened in the house.
Of O'Keefe support his theory and not the prosecution's claim.
Looks like he's been in a fist fight and he's been beaten. He's got some defensive wound bruises on the backs of his hand. He's got this massive laceration on the back of his head. Big,
why don't they show
gash,
that?
about 2.5 inches, exactly lateral, going from left to right. 2 black eyes, cut over his right eye, cut over his nose. This was a cover-up that John was murdered inside that house. His body was placed outside.
But in a statement to ABC News, the prosecution says there was no conspiracy or cover-up. Such claims have been systematically refuted by evidence submitted to Norfolk Superior Court.
Like, what a cocky statement this is. And like, this gets airtime, but like, they show this nonsense, but they don't show like the actual evidence of the case. They don't show, like, at no point do they talk about the Google search, which is the most sexy part. The sexiest part of the story is the Google search. As soon as people hear that, they're like, wow, that's what got my attention, was the Google search. Like, why is she Googling how long to die on cold if she thought he was home? If she thought he wasn't in the cold, why would she Google that? And it never comes up here. But we get this bullshit. Like, this matters. There was no conspiracy or cover up. Oh, okay. Well then, I guess that settles that. There was no conspiracy, guys, because David Traub said so in a press release. Oh, so that, I guess that's it. Such claims have been systematically refuted by evidence. Have they? Have they? You've systematically refuted that she Googled that. No, you haven't. You certainly have not. Like, that is a lie. And this just goes unchallenged.
The prosecution also said that, according to O'Keefe's cell phone GPS records and 11 witness statements, O'Keefe never entered Albert's home, and that a medical examiner found no signs of Mr. O'Keefe being involved in any type of physical altercation or fight.
Again, no signs of being involved in a physical altercation or fight. You just showed. I can't wait for Alan Jackson to get a hold of the medical examiner and cross-examine her on this. There's no signs of a physical fight. What do you call those things on his hand? What are those bruises a sign of? He had raccoon eyes. Okay, well, what about the hand? What about the hand? And the thing in the back of the head? What's up with that gigantic gash in the back of his head? And where's all the blood? Like, wouldn't there be a shit ton of blood? Thank you, Sleuthy. She says, data doesn't lie, but people do. Exactly. He's just like, just don't believe the forensic expert. He's not telling the truth. We are. Because I said so. And stop asking questions, you crazy conspiracy theorist.
There was no evidence that Mr. O'Keefe was beaten and left for dead. There was no evidence of any defensive wounds.
ABC News reached out to attorneys for Brian Albert and Jennifer McCabe, but did not hear back by the time of this broadcast.
So that's interesting. Brian Albert and Jennifer McCabe, there's my guy. They reached out to their attorneys and they didn't hear back from them. So why didn't Greg Henning get back to them? Greg Henning is like the legal analyst for WCVB, which is our Boston's ABC affiliate. And that must be driving him a little nuts. So Greg Henning, who lied in open court that Brian's dog never bit anyone. Animal control record shows that it sent 2 people to the ER. And he's just got no comment. And Kevin Reddington, who likes to get glug and send me some messages about dancing and then changes his tune and tells me he admires me. He didn't have anything to say, so they're going to use this quote.
In a previous statement to the Boston Herald, McCabe's attorney said the whole scenario is baseless.
The whole scenario is baseless. Anybody remember the message that, and some people have gotten, I've seen in the comments, people are like, why just I showed my messages with Kevin Reddington. I never told him that anything was off the record, ever. And come on, like, you're messaging Turtleboy drunk. Like, you represent Satan. And she messages me, and he messages me, and he tells me, and I showed this in the last show, go watch it, that he believes that Karen Reed's innocent. I got that in the text. So clearly he doesn't believe the whole scenario is baseless. The scenario is baseless. This is what he initially said, that the beat that John was beaten, that it's a baseless scenario. And he has to say that, because if it happened, that means his client is in on it and they're guilty. So he has to say that this is a baseless thing, which is bizarre that he would message me on July 22nd and say that he believes that Karen Reed is innocent. It's just crazy, man. Crazy.
Reed is scheduled to appear next in court again in September.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for...
Yeah. So, all in all, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't, and I would not a lot of people, but like when I first went to the comments section, and I do judge things by the comments. This only has 10,000 views. Wait a minute, let me refresh this. How many views we up there? Okay, 30,000 views. Good. And when I first saw Turtle Riders hadn't found it yet. So it was like people who follow this channel and they're like, yeah, she seems guilty, whatever. And it's like, okay, well, now we need to flood these people with the truth. Now we need to just show up in there and copy and paste the Turtleboy documentary framed, and just because it's the most, I'm so glad we did that, when it's just the easiest way to explain to people in 30 minutes everything that happened. It's perfect. And we just come in there and we post it, and let's look at the comments in here. And the comments are important because this is what a jury is. It's just a bunch of commenters, right? Except they're actually going to hear all the evidence. So I urge people to go there, and man, did you people do it. And look at all those thumbs up, barely scratched the surface. And what are people, so much is missing. How did John get the dog bites? And let's see what this person says. I don't know much about this case at all. I don't have a dog in the fight, but cop cover-up doesn't make sense to me. The cops and friends kill him in the house. They conspire to cover up. The cops all know who in the neighborhood has or doesn't have ring bell cameras. Yes, they do. And that's why that's why Colin Albert came and put his Ford Edge there. Not only that, but this knowledge has to be known up to the minute, because any one of their neighbors could have installed the ring. Exactly. Not to mention, I mean, these are good points. I don't get it. And so hopefully you people educated these people on there. Not that, because again, it's not just that you're talking to this one person. It's that other people are going to read the entire conversation thread. And let's see, the woman that got up early to help Karen find John, a family member of those involved that was in the house, submitted a Google search to find out how long it takes for a human to die in cold several hours before John was found in the cold. She also informed, and these are great. So people just flooded the comments with this. Flooded it. There is no way a jury, if they are given the information, because it's not going to be an edited ABC clip in court. It's going to be, and Colin is not in Florida, by the way. That was fake news. Colin is not in Florida. And so that's all. The good part about this is you got to understand that people are now going to be interested in this. They see the pictures of people protesting and they're like, I want to read up on this. And they're going to find, and when you read up on this, we got you. You're going to win. And it's really important, right? That I am like Karen Reed's attorneys aren't trying to poison a jury pool or whatever. I'm not trying to poison a jury pool either. I'm trying to flood a potential jury pool with the truth. With the truth. Because they're going to be lied to by the district attorney's office and they're going to trust them. And I don't want them to trust them because they shouldn't trust them because they're lying scumbags. And so that's why it's really important what we're doing. So goddamn, do I love that group, the Justice for John and Karen group. They raised yesterday $5,000 in one day for a billboard outside of Gillette Stadium. And it's going to have free Karen Reed with the QR code on it. And it's freaking brilliant when you do that. Because not everyone in Norfolk County knows about this. But Foxborough is right in the heart of Norfolk County. It's right in the middle. If you look at a map, it's like right in the middle of Norfolk County. And Route 1 is like a major throughway for everything. It takes you, from Norwood down. And where does it end up in Rentham or Plainville or some shit? Like you go all through Norfolk County to Bristol County eventually. And so millions of people are going to see that billboard. And so many people are going to learn about the case from that billboard. So great job to the people. I think it was Nick Rocco for organizing that billboard. It's going to be one of the most effective ways to educate the population about this case. Thank you so much for doing that. Stuck in past traffic, hit that QR code. That's a good point too. And there's nothing they can do about it. So they don't want us, right, to talk about. Yeah, Rentham, Waltham, Plainville. So it goes all through. I mean, it goes through anybody. Route 1 goes from I think it starts in Dedham, right? And then it goes to Westwood, Norwood, on the outskirts of Canton, I believe. And then it's Walpole, Foxborough, Rentham, Plainville. So anybody who's going, if you work in Boston, a lot of people take Route 1 to get there, or you're going anywhere near Dedham or whatever, you're going on Route 1. So great stuff. 2.5 hours. God damn. It took 2.5 hours to raise $5,000 for that billboard. God, I love you people. You guys are doing this. I'm telling you right now, we are part of something here. That we are saving an innocent woman because it's just the right thing to do, isn't it? It's just the right thing to do. These people are scummy. They killed someone and we cannot let them get away with it. And the most, you see these, oh my God, I just want to rip Adam Lally's freaking, that bootleg LA looks hair gel off his goddamn head every time he speaks. And when I see these press releases, I'm like, you're fucking pure evil, dude. You're just pure evil. Yeah, so you did not do this, and there was no evidence that he got out of the car. It's like, fuck you, Charlie Brown's teacher. Who do you oh my God, it's just so insulting to our collective intelligence. And I know that every time Adam Lally talks, trash bags like Jill Daniels are Slay King. Yeah, see? My boy Colin didn't do nothing, you fucking losers. Turtle douche. Guess what? Shut the fuck up. So yeah. Okay. Let me read. And it's right and Patriots have 2 home games to start the season too. Right? Don't we start with back-to-back home games too? So it's gonna be great. God, that's great. Okay. Got a couple turtle chats here on the Cash App. I got to read. Let's see. David Berry sends $20 and says, Karen Reed saves Karen Reed. First, Turtleboy saves Karen Reed. She deserves justice. She absolutely does. God bless her. JB sends $5 and says, for Jill Daniels plastic surgery fund. 42 going on 72. She's going to need a lot more than $5, my dude. A lot more than $5. Melissa sends $10 and says, thanks for your voice, Unc. That is my pleasure very much, Melissa. So if anyone else wants to donate to the Cash App, I am at $ Uncle Turtleboy. I don't know if the turtle chat was fixed. It's looking like it's not. Let me see. Let me check over on Rumble. We got Sween Dog sends $5 on Rumble, says Turtle Chat donation just keeps spinning. So fix it so I can keep donating money, you fucking loser. Question, who's more annoying, Drunken Jill or Wacko Wendy? Oh, come on. That's not even a contest. Wacko Wendy. Jill Daniels isn't annoying. Jill Daniels is hilarious. She's evil, but she's hilarious. And nobody takes Jill Daniels seriously. The problem with Wendy is she's just cocky and arrogant, and people and we all know how horrible she is and what a liar she is. And we just watch these channels take her seriously. It's annoying. 7 Pounder sends $20 and says, for sweet guns, hoss many corrupt cops can you bench? I don't know about that 7 Pounder. A little strange there, but yeah, how is she the same age as Karen? And Karen just looks authentic too, right? Like she doesn't look like she's too done up with makeup she doesn't come across as vain or anything like that. She comes across as down to earth, regular, and very likable. And maybe that's why they don't like her, because bitches are just petty, aren't they? They're just a little bit petty. All right. So that's that. So let's talk about this Coffindaffer idiot. We got to talk about her. She finally blocked me. And good. Because I waste way too much time responding to her bullshit online. Okay. So here's this bootleg, First Housewives of the Bronx chick. So this is Jennifer Coffindaffer. There she blows. She's basically another Wendy Murphy who just loves attention and gets off on being like the resident expert on all things law and order, like loves it. Is full of herself. You could tell, just full of herself. Well, here she's been on, what's this, CNN or what is this?
Former FBI agent and has been following Harmony's disappearance along with so many of us, and she is joining us live tonight.
Just tragic what this young girl endured, specifically talking about her toothbrush, using it to not only clean.
Okay, so yeah, so she's like the de facto expert that they call in, whatever. And she was on this show that I was on recently. I was supposed to be on tonight.
Yes, Nation, and welcome to a person.
And again,
in Pennsylvania after
I like
arrested.
I like Joel, but I would encourage him and people like him. You got to stop platforming people like Jennifer Coffindaffer because they have no credibility. I don't care what their past is like. I don't care what their resume is like. I don't care who they worked for. Just read her tweets about the Karen Reed. Whatever credibility she has, she voluntarily threw away because of her take on the Karen Reed case. She no longer has any sort of credibility. Like there has to be consequences for that. So she's been claiming a lot of things on Twitter. Like for instance, she's been defending Colin Albert very much. And she's been pushing this idea that Colin Albert was not there. And it's very obvious from her tweets that she's getting help from the Albert family. That the Albert family is feeding her information because everything she's posting is like, you might as well take my entire conversation with Jill Daniels and just transcribe it without the swears. And that's a Jennifer Coffindaffer tweet. Whatever they're saying. And she's also, kind of published some information that you could only have if you spoke to them. So this is what she writes. Okay. And I cannot wait for this to come back. Just keep in mind, she has spent so much time defending Colin Albert in particular that if this comes back and Colin Albert is indicted for murdering a cop, she can never go on a show again. I will lose all respect for anyone who platforms this woman. If you are on your law enforcement yourself and you're spending all this time defending a guy who ends up getting charged with killing a cop, there should be no coming back from that. Like she should, this is a calculated risk on her part and there should be consequences if and when this comes back and Colin Albert is indicted for this. social consequences. So it says, why am I so concerned about what's happening in this case? In part because the life of the 17-year-old young man was turned upside down when a blogger started accusing him of being a murderer. Stop right there. Already got a lie. His life was turned upside down. The FBI visited Colin Albert on April 10th. That was 8 days before I even knew who he was or wrote about this story. So that is a lie. His life was turned upside down long before my involvement in it and long before he was actually accused of it in court by attorney Jackson in his affidavit, which is on April 12th. Fatal flaw, accusing someone of killing Officer O'Keefe when he wasn't there. I mean, her definitiveness saying that. How do you know he wasn't there? First of all, he was there. We know as a matter of fact is there. And you're staking your entire professional reputation on the fact that this guy wasn't there. This young man had a promising scholastic and football career ahead of him. He thought Shakespeare was gay, and he played football for Bridgewater State. Stop it. Promising athletic career. Stop it. And maligned him. Maligned him with, let's see, it's blah, blah, blah. Accusing him of murdering, and some have completely maligned him with murdering John O'Keefe. Can you imagine what he's going through? Poor Colin Albert. Poor Bang Bang. He's the real victim here. Not Karen Reed, but poor Colin Albert. He can't even kill someone without people getting on his back. Don't you know he has a promising football and an academic career at Bridgewater State? He can't even kill a motherfucker and get a little sleep. Jeez Louise, you guys are so mean. Be nice to Colin Albert. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine what he's going through? Can you imagine what John O'Keefe went through last time he saw Colin Albert? Here is their evidence. He was at a party for his cousin the same night Officer O'Keefe was murdered. He had a black eye and hurt knuckles after O'Keefe murdered. He didn't like Officer O'Keefe. First, this is the most ridiculous totality of evidence I've seen to accuse an innocent kid of murder. Stop right there. There would be more evidence, Jennifer, but Michael Proctor didn't investigate him. That's the problem. That is the biggest problem here, is that Michael Proctor didn't do his job. There's very likely much more evidence. We haven't seen his phone. We haven't seen his geofence data. We haven't seen pictures of him immediately afterwards. Nothing. So calm down. Calm down. Second of all, Colin left a birthday celebration before Officer O'Keefe was dropped off by accused murderer Karen Reed. Specifically, cell records show Colin left at 12:11. Stop right, and was back at his home at 12:16. Stop right there. So this is how you know she's talking to Chris Albert and Jill Daniels and whoever, and other morons on the internet. This is the exact lie they've said, except they don't have a platform. This woman has a platform. People trust her like they trusted Wendy Murphy. So it's important to call these people out. That college. So they left at 12:11, and cell phone data shows that cell records shows she left at 12:11. Where are they? What cell records? Show the cell records. No, this idiot, this freaking moron, Wendy Coffindaffer, is just taking information from Chris Albert, who's trying to exonerate his son, and is basically, he's probably just like, oh, we found an idiot. You put a quarter in the machine and she'll say whatever you want. You don't even have to put a quarter in the machine. She's only doing this because we're going to see that to prove me wrong. This isn't about John O'Keefe with her. It's about me, the blogger, as she calls me. You know my name, Jennifer. Say my name. Dr. Turtleboy. Colin did not have a black eye. If you look at the photos of Colin, which I have, both after the murder as well as a few days ago, he has puffiness under his eye that some people have exploited as a black eye. He did not have a black eye. He was not in a fight. How do you know? Colin gets in fights all the time. He had absolutely no ill will against Officer O'Keefe. How do you know that? How do you know he had no ill will against O'Keefe? Unless they told you that. She's making it so obvious that her source is Chris Albert. Because how else would you know that? Doesn't she lives in like Texas or something? What do you know? You just started following this like 2 weeks ago. And then he goes on to say, there's a photo of Colin and his dad holding up beers in front of Officer O'Keefe's house. Yeah, they used to fuck with him when he was on vacation. And she says that was an inside joke about watching Officer O'Keefe's house while he was on vacation. How the fuck would you know that? How do you know that? Who told you that? Like, she's making it so obvious that Chris Albert, she has a direct line to Chris Albert, who is telling her these things. Don't you think O'Keefe's family would be shouting for justice for Colin to be charged if there was a smidge of evidence that Colin murdered their son? Yeah, they probably should. I've said it before, so they lucked out that they found a guy, the 1% of the population really, whose family just doesn't give a shit about him. Oh, you can't crap on the family. I'm not. It's a fact. I don't care. They obviously don't care enough to do any sort of research into what happened to their loved one, because they like the fairy tale that Karen Reed did it because they hate her. And again, yes, I said I would retract all statements. Again, I'll say it every fucking day. You all say that you have cell phone data, or wasn't it Life 360 data? This story is changing. Wasn't it a girl's Life 360 data or something like that? I will take down every blog mentioning Colin Albert in it and apologize. I'll even give him some money for his troubles, whatever. You can fucking sue me. I don't care. If you show me proof, just show me proof backing up that he left there at 12:11. Do it. You do that. You say you have it. So do it. Or sue me. Even better. Why? If it's not true, sue me. You haven't sued me yet. A fucking child can file a lawsuit in the state. Ask Ryan Waters. He's been suing me for 5 years. Doesn't stop. I've been sued by some of the stupidest people on planet Earth. I always win. But I'm supposed to feel bad for this guy. Yeah, it's so easy to produce it on Life 362. So I'm like, again, I want to make it very clear. The offer stands. Show me evidence Colin Albert's not there, and it all comes down. Why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? Do it. You have it, right? The O'Keefe family wants the false accusations against innocent people to stop. So you're the voice for the O'Keefe family. No, you're not. The Alberts are the voice for the O'Keefe family, and this is a line that they say. They want it to stop. They want you to stop being mean to Jen McCabe. They care so much. And if Peggy O'Keefe actually said that we should stop picking on Jen McCabe, then she's no longer a victim. She's an obstructor. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, you can't say that. Her son died and her son was killed. She's obstructing justice if she's actually doing that. If she's actually telling people that you can't question this woman who helped kill her son. Oh, but she really loved him. Really? Did she? Then why isn't she fighting for justice for him? Why is she helping to cover this up? Bullshit. Yeah, he's a kid. I say kid. It's funny. Sean on the golf calls, like, if you're under the age of 45, Sean on the golf calls you. Sean on the golf calls John O'Keefe a kid. When he's on here, he's like, yeah, the kid. Like, anyone born after 1975, Sean on the golf will call a kid. It's just a tendency. Us old timers, that's just what we do. All right. They want the facts to be presented truthfully in social media so that their son may have justice served against the person who took his life. Wendy Murphy Law. She tags Wendy Murphy. Colin may have grounds for a viable defamation suit. Oh, you must be new here, you stupid, simple clam. You must be new here. My name's Aidan. I'm the guy who everyone says they're going to sue. And then very few actually do, and they get humiliated. And I turn it into content. I wish a motherfucker would sue me. I love getting sued. So bring it on. I know in your line of work, you're probably like, oh, this will scare him. A defamation lawsuit. Oh, you must be new here, sweetheart. You must be new here, dear. Imagine going to your cousin's birthday party at your uncle's at the age of 17 and finding out the next day that your father's friend was run over that evening. Run over? He was run over now? Oh, that's new. And then someone in social media began targeting you as the murderer. No, the FBI did, dear. Below are photos of the 17-year-old's knuckles 11 days after the incident without a mark. Next to it is a photo of the knuckles that the blogger said, the blogger, my name is Aidan fucking Kearney, dear. You can call me doctor, quite frankly. Doctor, not the blogger, the award-winning investigative journalist. She loves to call me the blogger in an attempt to discredit me. He's just a stupid blogger. Bitch, I've done more reporting than any other media outlet you've read combined. Take all the media outlets you get your news from every day. I've broken more stories than all of them combined. Your jealousy is so transparent, dear. And the reason you're even talking about me at all is because you know how effective I am. And you're trying to, and everybody seeks through it. You're a full boomer on Twitter. You get ratioed every time you speak. You look like you're too stupid to realize how ridiculous you look. Next to it is a photo of the knuckles. The truth is the blogger's photo he posted was from 226. I've never said it wasn't from 226. Yeah, Colin, this picture of Colin at the bar, this one that I posted in the first blog, I never said that wasn't February 26th. But his knuckles are all cut up. So either that's from doing that to John O'Keefe and it's still there, or this guy just regularly goes around getting into fights. Which one sounds better to you? So you cannot tell me this kid's like a sweet, honor student just trying to get his master's degree or whatever at Bridgewater State. And he just goes around punching people all the time. But not John O'Keefe. He would never hit John O'Keefe. He just goes around punching people all the time. But John O'Keefe, he would never do that to. He was caught. He was 17. Finally, please leave this young man alone. He's done nothing to deserve this. Oh, I can't wait for her to eat these words. And then she throws in her role I'm a fucking big shot. I was a federal agent for 28 years. But fed or not, anyone could look at the 27 pages of court filings and see the facts. Yes, they can. None of them point at this young man. Yes, they do. This fraud is being perpetrated for money and some twisted sense of notoriety. No, dear, this is not a fraud, and it's being perpetrated because an innocent woman is being lynched. Use the L word, folks. She's being lynched in front of our eyes. And we ain't going to put up with it. And the real people who did it are some of the biggest scumbags on the face of the earth. And we're not putting up with that. That's why we're doing this. For money. Give me a freaking break. Like I always said, Thomas Edison wanted to be rich, but he also wanted to see in the dark. Okay? Just because you make money off of something doesn't mean you're not doing something else that's a public service. Stop it. Please see the timestamp. So he wasn't even there. She says, looking at the facts, no bloody knuckles, no black eye, case closed. Oh, it's case closed. He did not murder anyone. Prove it wasn't there. And she never responds to my tweets. She responds to people all day long. But me, the guy with 43,000 followers, who clearly comes up in her mentions a lot, she just ignores. She pretends like she doesn't see it. And people notice that, Jen. People notice you ignoring me. And it's not a good look. Again, grand jury testimony here clearly states, according to Nicole and Brian Albert's testimony before the grand jury, their nephew Colin Albert was also present for at least part of the party. How could they know that if they didn't? They saw him there. They didn't get home until between 12:15 and 12:20 because they all left the waterfall at the same time. And they all got there right around the same time. So that means that if he got there past 12:15, then Colin could not have left at 12:11. Period. I can't tweet her now. She blocked me. Yeah. I mean, it's so true. He thought Shakespeare was gay and plays football. It's so true. Stop it. Jennifer is a bad faith liar, right? And so then she starts sharing this one. Now, I didn't notice this. This was interesting that she shared this. And I wrongly stated that this was impounded because I'd never seen this version of it before. And I took down the tweets because that's what you do when you say something that's incorrect. This was not impounded. But it's different from the other filing. So this filing that she quotes here, let me read it to you. It says, this is from a May 2nd motion that Adam Lally posted. Notice she only posts motion from the Commonwealth. It says, throughout the evening, they both indicated that the victim and defendant, neither of whom they knew particularly well, entered the bar and joined the group. They indicated that several people from the group had been invited back to their home following the bar, and several arrived staying for approximately 1 hour. Both indicated in their sworn testimony before the grand jury in this matter that their nephew, Colin Albert, while present at the home upon their arrival, had left their home well before any of the guests' arrival from the waterfall bar. So they admit, Adam Lally admits in this thing that she posts, that Brian Albert saw Colin Albert. And if Brian Albert saw Colin Albert, that means that Colin Albert could not have left at 12:11. So he just accidentally proved the point that Colin Albert did not leave there at 12:11. Brian Albert and John O'Keefe probably got there within 1 or 2 minutes after Brian Albert got there because they all left at the same time. 3 minutes at the most. So are we to believe that Colin Albert's sitting there at this whatever party for teens and 20-somethings, drinking, of course, and all of a sudden his fun uncle shows up with, shit-faced Matt McCabe, and party's getting started, and Colin Albert's like, you know what? It's been real, but time for bed. Because Colin Albert doesn't like parties. He doesn't like, to stay up past midnight or anything like that. Colin Albert, he wanted to go home and read Shakespeare. That was what it comes down to. He's like, I need to go read A Midsummer Night's Dream because even though Shakespeare's gay as shit, I can't stop reading it. It's too good. It's too enriching. I love it. Right. Okay. So she posed that as evidence. It means nothing. And then there's this. This is another court document that says Brian Higgins supposedly went to complete administrative work at the Canton Police Department around 1:30. See, Jill? We talk about Brian Higgins sometimes on here. And it's like, so Brian Higgins in a drunken stupor is like at 1:30. He's like, I'm going to clock in. Okay. I'm going to go clock in and work. And Colin Albert returned home to his parents' residence at approximately 12:30. But gee, Wendy. Wendy. Jennifer, you said it was 12:16. I thought now it's 12:30. And by the way, who is the source that said that Colin got home at 12:30? It's so weird how these people know the exact times of shit. Jennifer McCabe in her testimony said that she left the house at 1:30. She actually left at 1:47. Michael Proctor says that he left Karen Reed's house at 5:30. He actually left at 4:12. And who is the source that says that Colin got home at 12:30 a.m.? That would be grand jury testimony of Julie Albert. Oh, his mommy. Source. My mommy. My mommy is the source. So mommy, who can't pay her bills, who just defaulted the other day on yet another civil These people are under the eye of the public and they're defaulting on credit card bills. She had one bill for under $1,000, 3 years old. She just didn't pay it. She can afford to go out to the bar and get shit-faced and hang out with the other white trash of Canton, but she can't pay her bills. And her husband are in charge of a $145 million budget. Make that make sense. Okay. She posted today that Free Karen Reed killed Brian O'Keefe. Did she really? That can't. She called him Officer O'Toole several times. Officer O'Toole. Like, this is how stupid this woman is. So there's that. So source, my mommy. Okay. And then there was this fuck up, which I laughed. This is one of the things she posted in her original post. She's such a boomer that she forgot to crop out where she got the picture from. It shows that this is in a message with Chris. I wonder who Chris is, because it just so happens that this guy who has all these pictures of Colin Albert has a dad whose name is Chris. Yeah. So I wonder, she's and she has all this information about, like, oh yeah, well there was an inside joke. How would you know it's an inside joke unless you talk to someone who's inside of it? And you didn't hear that from John because he's dead. So who else is on the inside joke? Just Chris, right? Oh, so this moron forgot to crop it out. So she deletes the tweet and then puts the same picture up with this cropped out. And it's just like, oh, are you fucking, you're the FBI? No wonder the Boston Marathon terrorists didn't get picked up before April 15th. Despite every sign of it out there. No wonder you guys missed all that. You miss everything. You're really good at catching grandmas at the Capitol. Not so good at, stopping terrorists before they blow shit up, or, redacting information like that. Like, and then she posts it again, but it doesn't have that. Note the knuckles. Now look at that. She's like, this is on February 9th. Source, Chris Albert. We're supposed to believe this is legit because they said so. How do I know this picture was taken on February 9th? And why is every picture have the freaking knuckles in it? So he didn't have, he according to her, he didn't have scraped knuckles on February 9th, but he did on February 26th. So he got in a fight afterwards. This nice, lovely Shakespeare loving boy with the nice future. It's like, give me a fucking break, will you? All right. And people asked her, like, do you have the metadata on that? And she's like, yeah, I'll get it. And then she never sent it. Here's another picture that Colin posted on February 12th, quite clearly showing he has a swollen eye. I got invoked when people DM'd me asking if I would take a look at this case. This was weeks ago. When I started digging, I couldn't believe what I found. You didn't dig anything. You just befriended. And by the way, who are the people that talked to you? Who DM'd you? Chris Albert. She acts like she went into this with like an unbiased head and wanted to figure out what happened, and she can't believe what she found. No. You tweeted about this, I think, on like July 26th or something, and then I chirped back at you, and from that point forth, you're like, fuck this guy. Who the fuck is this blogger to challenge me? I work for the FBI. That's all this was. This is an ego thing for her. She is not going to be publicly embarrassed by a blogger. So she had no intention of ever finding the truth. She pretends like she did. She went into this with the sole mission of discrediting me. This isn't about John O'Keefe or Karen Reed or Colin Albert. This is about me. She wanted to prove that I'm wrong to her audience because she's the FBI agent. So this is like, this is the first tweet I saw where she was like, this needs a gag order, she said. Her defense team recently asked for the judge to recuse herself. She didn't. This will be an easy one. A crime scene reconstructionist and medical examiner will be able to prove how he died. she's such a statist. And then this needs a gag order. Well, you didn't get one. So she wants to like take away their First Amendment rights. How dare they? I'm going to be tweeting a series of tweets regarding the murder of John O'Keefe. His girlfriend at the time is charged with running her over. A grand jury returned a true bill upping the charges to second-degree murder. The case caught my attention because I could see the facts had become distorted. Dog bites instead of lacerations. First of all, there are lacerations on his arm. The Commonwealth is the one saying they're not lacerations. The Commonwealth said that they are abrasions, as in road rash. Police friends of his conspiring to kill Officer O'Keefe instead of a drunk girlfriend who backed into him, causing him his untimely death. Armchair detectives on Twitter and YouTube. And this is her speaking down to them. Like, how dare you armchair detectives have an opinion on this? And somebody says, read this article, the Turtleboy article, and check out the autopsy photos. What did she say? I am poring over the court documents. Therein lies the facts. I will check this out as well. She didn't check it out. That's what made me think. I'm like, oh, well, she wants to check this out. Go for it. She had no intention of checking it out. None. When he was found, individuals moved the snow and dispersed the taillight pieces, trying to assist the victim. So at least she has a theory for how the Canton police didn't find the taillight. Except that's a lie. They searched the scene after the body was removed looking for taillight. Do you know the case? Have you read every court document? Have you conducted any interviews? I have. Yeah, what interviews have you conducted? Because I have conducted interviews, Jennifer. I am the only person who interviewed Lucky Loughran, the plow driver who went by 34 Fairview Road that night. How about that? You never did that. Michael Proctor never did that, but I did that. So there's that. Have you conducted interviews? I'm invested in separating hype from fact. I'm willing to eat crow if I'm wrong. I don't think you are, dear. So I messaged her and I'm like, you seem to be confused about what happened with the John O'Keefe case. Since you're interested in talking about it, you should come on my show and discuss. Hi, Mr. Kearney. Thank you for the invitation. I would like to discuss, but once I am finished reviewing everything, I can get my hands on from a legal standpoint. Thank you again. So basically, like, by this point on August 1st, she'd already been saying Karen Reed did this. So it sounds like you've got, like, she's basically, on one hand, she's saying, well, I'm not going to share my opinions until I know all the facts. Bitch, all you're doing is sharing opinions without knowing any facts. I said, why are you opining and causing an innocent woman, accusing an innocent woman of murder if you admit you haven't read the court documents? Do you know who Michael Proctor is? Are you aware of the glaring irregularities that have taken place in this case? You're welcome to come on, but I suggest you actually read up before doing so. And then she's a grand jury and a judge confirmed probable cause. A judge did not confirm probable cause. A grand jury said there was probable cause. And grand juries will indict a ham sandwich that Karen Reed murdered Officer O'Keefe. I am not alone in my conclusion to date, but reviewing all I can at the moment. No, you're not. I said, are you aware that a federal grand jury has been convened in regards to the cover-up of this murder? Why aren't you asking questions and researching before commenting? She said, oh, I am doing a series of tweets about research. Oh, so there will be tweets. I read about possible federal involvement, but that came from the defense attorney, not the U.S. Attorney's Office or the FBI. Dumbass. You worked for the FBI. You know that they're not going to fucking announce this, you idiot. And it has since been confirmed. So what do you got to say about that? If she was honest, she'd be like, oh, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. It turned out he was right about that, but she's not an honest person. She's a liar. And then I show her the Google data. I go, explain this. She doesn't respond. Didn't think so. I go, so you're going to come on the show and discuss and defend your opinions? I would like to have that discussion, but I have heavy work demands through September 16th. Hopefully we can arrange something in late September or early October. I'm like, heavy work demands at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night? I don't have a 9 to 5. I go, you tweet all day. All you do is tweet all day. But you can't come on the show. You want all this attention And it's just yet another coward who is afraid to go on a show where she will be challenged. These people are all afraid of me. Not because I'm going to kick their ass, because they know that I'm going to challenge them. I'm not going to let their bullshit go unchallenged. And I should keep showing this. The facts. Look at my badge. The facts led me to believe there's probable cause. Look at my badge. I'm so smart. I'm so much smarter than you. And how about this? She goes to Karen Reed. This is evil, she says to them. This is evil. This takes the saying the best defense is a good offense to a whole new level. She is evil, she says. Why is she evil? Because she's defending herself? Because she's not just being like, yeah, I surrender. Yeah, I didn't do this, but fuck it. To make things easier on the O'Keefe family, I'll just say I did. And you're evil if you don't do that. She later tweeted today, I never said he wasn't evil. Bitch, you said it right fucking there. You fucking liar. And then she comes out with the Google search. It's untrue because Adam Lally said so. That there was no planted taillight. Okay. It's just like, and then I show her the Google search. I'm like, dude, it's right there. It's Celebrate. It's really not that complicated. And she goes, you have not had cases. Oh, okay. I don't have cases, guys. I don't have cases. Neither of you, by the way, Jennifer, you did anti-terrorism. Like you've never done a murder case in your life. You don't know the fucking first thing about it. So I know as much as you do about that. Google timestamps have historically had issues. So it's just wrong. We don't like what the machine gave us. So it's wrong. It has issues. There's issues with the timestamps. Oh, okay. Homeowner staying inside. Please show me the police report. Yep, he stayed inside. Now what? Another thing I was right about. Michael Proctor's relationships do not provide evidence of this crime. Yeah, it shows that the crime was covered up, dummy. Like, do you honestly think somebody who could be closely related to so many witnesses can be and potential suspects should be the lead investigator? Do you actually believe that? Deleted phone calls? I think you mean log, but nothing is ever really deleted. And I would call your attention to the Rule 17 motion and the corresponding ruling from the judge. This has been addressed. No, it hasn't. The Rule 17 motion, they asked for the phone and the judge denied it. So we haven't seen Brian Albert's phone. You absolute idiot. Okay. So anyway, she just goes on and on. Any other dumb thing? She talks about the dog. She's like, I'm very aware of Chloe's history, which has been exaggerated. Really? Because we've seen the animal control records. And Chloe sent 2 people to the ER. Oh, she's in Vermont, living the good life. AKA, I am in regular contact with Chris Albert. And this is what Chris Albert fed me. And then she starts making up excuses. So every day I come out with more information and she's got an answer for it all. So Lucky Lawford says that there was no body on the front lawn. Not that you didn't see a body, but that there was no body on the front lawn. Well, answer. Body was under the snow. No, there's only 2 inches of snow, so that can't be right. Initially, the blogger had the below remarks. So then she starts posting. Lucky was concentrated on the road he was plowing. Now, if you actually read, and you're going to read, she's going to feel stupid. Lucky's talked to a lot of people. Lucky has signed documents with the FBI that he was concentrating on the road. Nope. He looked at the lawn. Those are his own words. He looked at the lawn. Because I asked him that too. I'm like, is there any way that you could have been distracted and not looked at the lawn because you're focusing on the road? Nope. Been doing this for years. You look out for that kind of stuff. Oh, okay. And then she posts some clips of me, I didn't even play them. It's probably me swearing and calling people got them up. But who knows? My greatest hits, as we call them. And we all know where those came from, don't we? We don't need to give that person attention because that's what they want. But it just shows how low this woman is, what a joke she is. that this is who you have to get your information from, is just degenerates like Chris Albert, who are biased, and you expect us to believe this. And so then she shows videos of us booing at court, and she of course falsely says that this is us booing John O'Keefe's mother. It's not. I played this video for her. We're not booing John. I said it right there. We're not. You are such a liar. And I had an answer for everything. I'm like, you said we were booing John. Nope. John's mom. Nope. Here's a video. The video you posted is of us booing Carl. And then somebody points this out to her. That's not true. He immediately told the crowd to stop booing. She didn't listen to this. Please watch the video I posted. It speaks for itself. No, you fucking idiot. My video speaks for itself. Your video is fake news. Anyway, I could talk about this idiot all week. She's a moron, and it's just important to call people out like this. She found out about the fact that the FBI visited Colin. She had an excuse for that. Oh, maybe they were just, what'd she say? Oh, he was a confused driver. What does this have to do with the murder accusations? The answer is nothing. Bitch, 2 FBI agents came to his room. Do you think that happens often? That FBI agents go to some college kid's room and give him a subpoena to go in front of a federal grand jury? And what does she say? Please stop doxing the kid. First of all, it's his old address, stupid. So he's not being doxed. And the fact that your immediate reaction to this is like Colin Albert's still the victim. He's being doxed. We can't show Colin Albert's address. Colin Albert's the real victim here. And then she goes, witness, not a subject. What the fuck was he a witness to? You said he wasn't in the house when John got there. So what is he a witness to? And for what it's worth, she starts going all this stuff. Oh, a witness gets a subpoena. A subject gets a target letter. Except, no, that's not how it works. It says right here. A target. So if it is the policy of the DOJ to advise a grand jury witness of his or her rights, if such witness is a target or subject of a grand jury investigation. A target is a person to whom the prosecutor or the grand jury has a substantial evidence linking him or her to the commission of a crime. So a target or subject is a type of witness. She's saying that a witness and a subject are two totally different things. No. A subject or a target is a type of witness. Stupid. Oh, God. He would be served as a witness to respond to allegations concerning corruption. If the FBI were looking into corruption in Canton, why the fuck would Colin Albert be a witness to that? What does he know? What does Mr. Shakespeare is gay know about corruption in Canton? What is he possibly going to offer for that? But she knows that's not true. She's just intentionally lying. Then the FBI is not interested in what a blogger has to say. I think they are, dear. I think they are because, oh yeah, I got receipts for that too. A couple weeks ago, FBI arrested this doofus and they provided screenshots from Turtleboy's blog as the primary source for arresting this guy. What are my greatest hits she's playing here? Let's see what this greatest hit is. Hold on. Let me go play this. Because I haven't even played this. Let's see what it is.
Two children are left orphaned because John O'Keefe was murdered by Brian Albert and by Colin Albert and that freaking dog and every other single person in that house who remains quiet to this day and participated.
What's wrong with that? That's a fact, a statement of fact. But it's not okay for us to say that Colin Albert did this, which has merit to it. It makes sense. But it is okay for them to say that Karen Reed did this, which makes no sense and has no evidence to back it up whatsoever. Oh, okay. Listed below are the individuals and the dog that a blogger and his following have accused of killing O'Keefe. I don't think Julie Nagel killed O'Keefe. I don't think Nicole Albert did. I don't think Brian Albert Jr. did. I don't even think Brian Higgins did. I certainly don't think Matt McCabe is man enough to do anything like that and get his hands dirty. Jen McCabe didn't kill him. She helped to conspire to murder him after the fact and make sure he didn't get up, but she didn't actually hit him. So this is just a lie. So literally the accusations are these individuals all conspired to kill Officer O'Keefe, to dump his body on their lawn and to cover it up by lying before a grand jury. Yes. What is so hard to understand about that? They didn't plan on killing him. They killed him. And then they're like, we don't want to go to jail. So they blamed Karen Reed. What's so hard to understand about that? Below are clips of how his cover-up was spawned. No, this is not how this theory spawned. What's this one?
Who's the scary one? Me or them? Me. I'm the one that knocked, motherfucker.
Oh, this is my greatest hits.
They should be 1,000,000 times more scared of me than I will ever be of them, because I'm a relentless, vengeful cunt.
Yes.
Hell-bent on putting them all in prison.
Yes. Yes.
If that doesn't scare the shit out of you, what does?
Yes.
I got a large platform to do it.
Yes.
And I'm fucking smart and savvy,
Yes.
and I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Get him.
And you wouldn't be the first person
Love
I
this
fucked
guy.
around.
Yeah.
Who's the scary one?
Is
Me or them?
is this supposed to be my
Me.
greatest hits? It's so true. I meant everything I just said there. They should be more scared of me because I'm not going to kick your ass. I don't need to do that. But I'm relentless and I'm more dangerous with my words because I'm so good at finding evidence and exposing people. And you should be scared of that because who cares if I kick your ass? You'll be fine in a couple of days anyway. Take a couple of aspirins, you'll be good. But you ain't going to be good if you go to jail for the rest of your life. Aspirin ain't going to fix that, my dude. So there you go. There you go. Okay. Why don't I check if we have any more? Oh, my phone is static. Is that true? All right. Got a couple cash apps here. Let's see. Leah M sends $20 and says, for Turtleboy, the vomit on clothes, though. Thank you for all you do. The vomit on clothes on John. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you die. You also shit your pants, too. Caitlin sends $40 and says, for your passion for uncovering the truth is magical. Ooh, thank you very much. I'm magical. I appreciate that. Did I miss any others? Did we ever get, I guess Turtle Chat never worked, so that's a bummer. Let me check on Rumble. Okay. All right, why don't we do a little Ask Turtleboy? I will read the Rumble comments too and the YouTube ones. If you guys have any comments or questions, fire away. Good job critiquing my own videos. Thank you. I mean, I made a lot of good points, I thought. Turtleboy is just using you to stay relevant. She has failed so badly with the Coburg. Oh, did she fail badly with that? I haven't followed her at all when it comes to that. Was Higgins ever questioned by Proctor? If he was, I have not read the report. No, it's not that she's thick. It's just that she's stubborn and she just doesn't mind looking like an idiot. Some people just don't mind looking like morons. I should show newbies the gay Shakespeare post. Go read part 1. It's got the Colin tweet about what he thought of Shakespeare. Was the Ford Edge that Lucky saw parked in front of the flagpole with Karen's Lar? I don't understand the question. But yeah, there was a Ford Edge that parked right there. Any info on the 911 call? Stay tuned. She's actually not as obnoxious as Wendy. Wendy's more obnoxious, but they're the same kind of person. You know, they're just menopausal white woman who just doesn't have it in them to admit that they're wrong because they're arrogant and they think that even associating and talking to someone like me is like beneath them, even though I'm a million times smarter than them and better at figuring this out than them. And they resent me because I represent this new way of doing things that is much better than the way they have done things, clearly. Is it possible he went right in the side door and right down the stairs, and some people who were upstairs never saw him enter? I mean, they might not have seen him enter, but they would have heard. Don't tell me they wouldn't have heard a fight in the house. Come on. You know how much noise that would have been? Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to find it. Like I said, my roommate died in college 20 years ago. He had shit himself, puked all over himself. Like it's like your whole body, your body keeps functioning after you die. Why did he only make 2 passes? Good question. When will the verdict be out? After a trial. When this is all said and done, do you think Karen will come on the show? Oh, I know she'll come on the show. I'm quite positive that I think when this is all said and done, that we should not. I don't want to do a StreamYard with her. I want to do an in-person interview with an audience. That's the way I envision this going. And her attorneys too, if they want to come. But that's the way let's do it. Let's do this big when this ends. Like I don't want to count my chickens yet, but when this ends, I think that's the way. That's and we can stream it too, but we'll sell tickets to it. Like it could be a huge event. And because I mean, wouldn't you guys want to go to that? Like the Turtleboy sit down interview with Karen Reed when this is all said and done? Who wouldn't want to go to that? Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like Leah Genduso was a state trooper. So like you look at people like Jennifer Coffindaffer and you're like, yeah, how'd you get on there? Interesting. Makes me wonder. Is that a Stanley tumbler? It's a Yeti? I don't know. No, nothing has been that I've seen. And if you look at the court dockets, it's like a lot of new filings and a lot of new discovery is being sent over all the time, which makes me think that they're gearing up for trial. I tweeted Coffee Cunt. That's a good name. Yeah, I'm not doing the drug dealing allegations. I have no interest in that. I think it's a distraction because it's gone. I mean, they've talked about it a lot in all these other channels and stuff like that, and nobody has reached any conclusions because nobody has any actual evidence of that. And I don't think that John got killed over drug dealing. I think it's much simpler than that. There's a fight. Colin Albert's an asshole. He's a punk. He started a fight with John. They fought. It was an accident that he died. Not an accident, but like Colin did something stupid. And there we are. That's it. She pushed so hard. Koberger was Papa Roger. Who's Papa Roger? I've been following the Koberger thing. When this is all said and done, it's like I can't go back to just ratchets after this, you know? Like I feel like true crime is my calling at this point. Is Karen Reed herself claiming someone else killed him? Yeah, of course. You want to see my juicy nip? I can't do it on the show, Carrie. It's a family show. It's a family show. Do you know Scanlon worked for the Suffolk County Sheriffs? Yes, of course. Yeah, they know each other. But he is not involved in it. He got caught snitching, quite frankly. She's crazy posting videos of you tonight. Different. Oh, is she really? Can we go? Let's go to her channel. Let's just see what she's posting. I got to see what is she posting my greatest hits? And you know what that means. We all know if she's posting videos, there's no way Jennifer Coffindaffer is going through like hours and hours of my old videos and being like, whatever. Like means she's being fed this by, you know, Team Storm or whatever, as if that's going to stop me. Like, as if, like, they're so stupid. You would think after a while of trying and failing to stop me that you would just kind of quit and go on to someone else, but they don't mind losing. That's the thing about these. They don't mind losing. So more of my hits. Okay. Kohlberger tweet. Okay. Carly Russell. I was recently asked about the advocacy work I do on Twitter. So she's a really important person. So is it in her replies that she's posting videos? Let me see this. Oh, here it is. So what's this video?
The only thing I would say from my perspective,
This is we all know who made this video. She doesn't get attention on this show, but we all like it's funny if your only source of information is a deadbeat like Chris Albert and some woman who is famous, or not famous, but known for around here for losing half of her kids to the state, amongst other things. You know,
just having covered trials for years is that for family members and stuff going through, and it's their loved one, their friend that is the victim in the case, just a little, it's tough for them. It's really a difficult spot for them emotionally. Like, it's even tough for me just to sometimes approach them.
Right. I just want to make it clear that we didn't boo his mother or anything like that.
so that's like, this is not his mother. And that's not even who we're booing. We're booing this fat chick with the Justice for JJ pin, Laura Sullivan, this cow who came in earlier. And so, like, I showed the video of me telling the crowd, don't boo the mom. But, you know, see the cows in front of them? That's who was getting booed. And they should be getting booed. They're supporting this sham prosecution against a woman who is clearly innocent, and in doing so is supporting cop killers. Yes, I'm going to fucking boo them. Absolutely. If you support cop killers, your ass is getting booed. Sorry, not sorry. Out of context, mother. You can put all these little clips together you want. It doesn't make you any less of a liar.
I actually said, no, we're not going to say anything to his mother.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with Peggy O'Keefe? Oh, she's fucking old. You're being mean to the mother. Well, fuck her too. Okay?
Yes.
Fuck her too.
Yes.
I wanted to be very clear with that.
Yes.
Because I know.
Yeah. We're supposed to feel sorry for her. Why? Yeah, her Sunday, it's sad, but that's sad. But now she's not fighting for justice for her son. I'm doing much more for justice for John O'Keefe than any member of the O'Keefe family. That's just a fact. It is. Deal with it. No, you're old and we have to be nice to fucking old people, especially when their fucking kids died.
Okay. Even his brother, I said the same thing. We're not going to do that.
And yeah, Paul, talk about your mama. What's she gonna do about it? Fucking drunk. He is a drunk. Those people. He is a drunk.
Fuck him.
Yeah, he is. Oh, yeah, by the way, Paul, nearly killed the guy. By the way, she's getting like no traction or interaction in any of these posts. The YouTube link isn't available. Let's see. Oh, okay. Thank you. There's a reason I don't comment often. Some people on Twitter don't deserve a comment. Okay. Sure thing. So I guess she's posting those videos. All right. Anyway, so she's really busy. She really cares about John O'Keefe. That's why she's turning it all about me. All right. Let me read some more comments and we'll call it a night. Going to the next Canton bod. Is that Board of Selectmen? I don't know what bod means. Mario Palmer sends $5. Says, for Colin's hand looks doctored. in Coffindaffer's pick. Yeah, I noticed that too. And that's why a lot of people have asked for like the one with the metadata on. She can't do it. She can't do it. And she also got it from someone who is known for doctoring information. Like that's what she does. Every Friday there will be a 60-footer raffle that gets donated to Karen's Venmo. The new giveaway is for 3 signed jerseys. Thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate that, Nick. So yeah, check out the Justice for John and Karen page for that. They are rejects in their field. You're right about that, Leah. I appreciate that. Yeah, if Karen comes on the show, she will break the internet. It will be the biggest show I've ever done, obviously. Obviously. I would not be surprised if Colin came back with the Ford Edge. Like if you were Brian Albert and you were doing all that, that's what made me think that Colin delivered the fatal blow. Like if you're Brian Albert, you're going to be like, listen, little shit dick. You got us in a lot of trouble. You need to help us with this. Okay. We're going to get you out of here now, but you're going to come back. Okay. And take care of this. If Colin left by 12:15, why did he call Beatty's daughter for a ride around 12:30? 12:33 to be exact. He called Aaron Beatty. 12:33. And I have proof of that. Will the FBI actually let it go to trial? That'll be interesting, huh? Wait and see. We'll see how this all plays out. If I was truly innocent in all this, I would want to speak up and clear my name. Yeah, but none of them do it, which tells you everything you need to know. I'm gonna scroll all the way to the bottom. Sorry if I missed your comments here. Get caught up here. Dr. Aidan and chat, best people. Yes, that's correct. Can I be your driver when you're in the movies? I like driving myself. Lee says, you bring receipts to every conversation. It's so annoying that the rest of these reporters make statements. Exactly. Welcome to my world. But you know what? The people see it. There's a reason that my following is and influence is so much bigger than theirs. It's because people notice this stuff, you know? It doesn't go unnoticed. If they were innocent, they'd be on the show right now. Totally they would. And I've invited them on. Jill Daniels came on. She put on quite a performance, didn't she? I wouldn't say she convinced anybody of her innocence. Quite the opposite, but she certainly entertained us and will live on in Turtleboy infamy forever. Do you think someone had it out for Morrissey to initiate FBI? Oh, I definitely think Morrissey is the target of this. Yeah, that's never good, Gregor. Never good when that's your source. Kind of says it all right there. And again, her goal is to become a part of this narrative, and I intentionally did not put anything about her in the blog because, you know, when you reach her level, like you're just trying, like you just want, like you have no shame. Like imagine giving away 2 of your kids. Like you're fucked up, obviously. Like you have serious issues and you just don't care about looking trashy. So what are you going to do? Like, I'm just going to keep giving this trashy person attention. That's what they want, obviously. So not going to happen. And at the end of the day, when, you know, the documentary comes out, which is going to happen, trust me on that. And, and Karen Reed is exonerated and the bad guys are in jail. What are they going to say then? So like, I love the fact that they're putting up a little bit of a fight because it's going to make the victory that much sweeter, isn't it? But I'm seriously, I'm going to have to get that chicken parm. And I might just hold a sign outside of his shop that says mediocre chicken parm inside. Eat at your own risk. Will Colin switch genders before he goes to Susan Baranowski? I don't know. Your pick to play you in the movie? I don't know. Some people were saying Jeremy Renner. I don't know. He was on Kimmel last night because I only watched it because Nightline was coming on. And he looks old. He got real old real quick. I don't know. Any truth to Julie and Chris getting a divorce? Doubt it. This case has single-handedly made me want to change careers and go back to law school. Seriously. How do you get the court documents? They're supposed to be on masscourts.org, but they weren't on there today when I looked. That happens a lot in this case. But the whole point of this is to fight corruption, so there's no way you'll lose this thing you have going because of the way you talk. We're past that. Exactly. Get over it. Jeremy Renner actually got hit by a plow. Is that true? That's wild. Haskins? Oh, I forgot about her. Thank God. We don't need to bring that one back up. He was so good in The Town. He was just so good in that movie. But I think, no, it is personal now for her attorneys. Totally personal. You could tell. The way that David Yannetti was like offended, you know? All right, guys. So I guess we're going to call it an evening then. Getting a little late, but thank you guys for all the support. Everyone who donated. Sorry, the turtle chat wasn't working. That was dumb. But we will see you guys all for the next episode of the live show on Saturday night, or you can join Turtle Club and catch the stream on Thursday. All right. Peace, Turtle Riders.